Hi everybody, this is High Priestess 2020. I am here to do a reading. I'm going to start with the ruins. I hope everybody's having a great day. Please like and subscribe to the video. Here we go. Okay, so I got two ruins, Uraz and Jera, I think. No, not Jera. This is Uraz. And this one is, I think it's Kenaz. Let me check. Still learning them. Okay. Kenaz. Kenaz. It's torch, fire, inspiration, creativity, and insight. And when I was reading that, I just finished doing or setting up my altar for a banishing spell. And so I work with fire a lot. And when I got the fire thing, that kind of confirms where the collective is, where we are. As a matter of fact, before I go any further, let me do a protection prayer because I forgot. Mother, Father, Spirit, I call on you to connect with the collective. Please deliver clear, concise messages to the collective today. I thank you for everything. Please protect us while we're in this space. Allow us to have the energy to transmit so that the collective is able to implement and recognize what is needed and necessary, and what is not, may they leave it. Thank you. Amen. So the next ruin, the Uraz has to do, it's like a portal. It's like, it looks like a portal, but it says, wild ox, courage and health, strength of will. So I'm hearing fire rituals to strengthen you, to give you more protection, and to clarify and bring your will forth. Now, the particular banishing ritual I just did or set up is one for banishing of any negative energy that is stopping or getting in the way of my divinity, of my divine gifts, of my ascension, of anything of that nature. So if you're finding that you're blocked in those ways, then I highly recommend that you do a banishing ritual, or you contact me. I would be happy to do one on your behalf. Now, I'm going to go ahead and do a Celtic cross and ask for guidance around. Actually, no, what they're telling me is to ask for more about Uraz, the two ruins that we pulled. So Spirit, please clarify Uraz for the collective. I got West Bear, grow physical, water, evening fall, second quarter, moon, adult, middle age, black is the color. September 23rd to December 21st is what I have written down here on my deck that I created. So if any of those significators apply to you, then please, you know that this reading is for you. And for Kenaz, you are protected 24/7. Your ancestor spiritual team has your back. Don't worry, be happy. We got you. Yes. Okay. But as I don't want anyone to get confused. You do need to do your spiritual work in order to keep that protection, in order to keep that connection with your ancestors. You need to acknowledge them. You need to seek to see what it is that they need, and continue to provide that, because as they do for you, you also do for them. It's a reciprocal relationship is what I'm hearing. Now, I'm going to, at this point, put these cards back and go back into the deck and do a Celtic cross. The elevator does not go all the way up. Mental health issues, demonic possession, soulless beings, the devil, lie, steal, cheat, and destroy. So that is the central part of the reading. What's crossing that is surrender, Dorothy, be still. And when I hear surrender, Dorothy, be still, I'm getting that is about meditation. That is about taking time to go inward, to do your spiritual work, to surrender to what is, to even acknowledge, because sometimes what's going on, we don't even want to really acknowledge, or sometimes it's so crazy until you even doubt yourself as to whether you're really perceiving what is actually happening in this 3D. And that a lot of times has to do with witchcraft being done, where you're not sure, you're not clear about what's going on. So I'm doing the Celtic cross as we go in. On the past, there's yes. And in the near future, there is the moon. At the head of the reading, the cavalry is not coming. The flavor is rocky road. How are you going to handle it? And at the base of the reading, Spirit, live your life like your life depends on it. Live your life like your life and the lives of the ones you love depend on it, because it does. Okay, so in the near future, the one to the right, it's clearly something that is unseen. But whatever it is, we got to be ready for it. We got to prepare ourselves as best we can, even if we don't know exactly what that something is. How you see yourself, be, do, have. And be, do, have has to do with your mind, your mental strength, and what you're creating, what you're manifesting. Before it comes into this reality, into this 3D, you need to actually be that. You need to be what it is that you want to manifest. You need to be courageous if you want a courageous partner. You need to be loving to yourself if you want someone to love you, because all things initiate internally, mentally first. So you want to be it, then based on what you identify that you want to be or to manifest, then you want to do the actions that allow you to be in alignment with what it is that you're being, or with who it is that you're being. Your actions are going to line up with who you're being, and then the universe will automatically align you with having what that is. So it's a process. It's a process of manifestation. A lot of people think that, oh, I can just burn a candle and I can ask for money and it should just show up. Well, sometimes, maybe because you're favored, maybe because your ancestors know you need a certain thing at a certain time and you've been good to them, that can happen. But to be most effective in your manifestation process, yeah, burn your candles, do your rituals, but at the same time, you need to do the work. And the work is in the being and the doing, and then the manifestation comes. Now, then how people see you is hammer time. Fuck around and find out. That's how people see you. They don't know what your next move is going to be. They don't know what's in your head. They just don't understand how you're doing what you're doing. They don't even understand how you're defeating them in the spirit. And that is because you're favored. That is because this collective, the one I'm speaking to right now, is actually doing the work. They're doing and having the results that kick ass. Okay? So people can fuck with you if they want. They're going to fuck around and find out what the deal is. If they're blind, if they can't see, if they don't understand, if they're deaf, dumb, and blind, they're saying, fuck around and find out, and we'll show you, because it's hammer time. Now, how your greatest fears and hopes, your voice matters. Wow. And so I have to say, to be quite frankly, I'm struggling with doing these readings on YouTube. I know that my voice matters. I know that I'm here to teach. I've done a channel before and it was much more fluid, even though it wasn't a great success, which I had a problem with. But, excuse me. but I did do a channel, and it was much easier. So I know that there's some kind of magic going on that wants to prevent me from doing this. And just your voice matters. Know that your voice matters. Know that if there's something that you're called to do, to divine, to coach, to read, to heal, whatever it is, know that it's important and that you have the power. You got the power and the backing of the spirit world, of your ancestors and your beneficent ancestors to do what you need to do. And the outcome of this situation is, and it came to the left, which is the feminine side. And for some reason, I needed to let you know about that. But the outcome is the root chakra, which is red. The Sanskrit name is Muladhara. It represents the foundation. Let's see, what else are we? We have base sense of safety and growing, basic needs like your food, water, and shelter. Excuse me. That's what the Muladhara base chakra has to deal with. Sexual reproduction, things of that nature. The astrological representation of this, I'm told, is Capricorn and Scorpio. I'm not an astrologer, but this is what I see, or based on my research, I found that was associated with that. So that may be something that's important to you as a significator, as something that lets you know that this is, hitting home, and what I'm saying is from spirit. Okay, so I have a clarification. If you ask, you shall receive. Trust the process. So, as I told you, we need to do the work. Part of asking and receiving, there's a process to that. There's a declaration that we make with our sovereign power, with our voice, because it matters, with our choice. When we speak, we cast spells. When we speak, we create. So if you speak something, know that your words, especially the collective that I'm talking to right now, that your words matter, that they're very powerful, and that if you put your beingness, your emotion, your focus behind what it is that you're speaking, it will manifest. And that's very powerful, and it's very important. So once you begin to speak it, then you do it. If you do it, what that part of it looks like in terms of the manifesting of, if you ask, you shall receive, is the work, is the doing the altar, is the taking of the spiritual bath for protection or for money or whatever it is that you're speaking that you want, so that it can manifest into the 3D. The doing is the manifestation of it. It's the end process. Most of us, all of us in this society, in this American society, are taught backwards. We think that we have to have it first, then we get to do it, then we be it. And that's totally backwards in terms of any type of manifestation process. And just know that work is required. We don't actually get to have stuff without clearing out stuff. We don't actually get to manifest without making space for stuff. So if there's stuff that's in the way, like dark magic, where you need to do a ritual to banish, or like even affirmations, because you have negative conversations from when you grew up in your head, if you take the time to actually declare, decree, and burn those negative limiting beliefs, for lack of a better word, if you take the time to identify them and to burn them, do a burning ceremony or do some type of a ceremony where you release them, And I say burning because I love working with fire. But if you do a release ceremony with the limiting beliefs, but first you have to identify them and acknowledge that they're there, that they're impacting you, that they're not serving you. Then you take the time to clear out that. Then there is space for what it is you want to manifest. You can't manifest on top of shit, for lack of a better word. You don't want to take and put new wine in old wine sacks, because it'll burst. It won't hold it. The space won't accommodate it. So we want to be very conscious of the space that we're creating around ourselves. That includes cleaning physically, spiritually, and mentally on all levels. If we clean and clear, then we open a space that the universe has to fill, because the space is cleared. So, and what comes in the space depends on your intention, your true intention, your subconscious beliefs, your core beliefs, your most heartfelt, authentic beliefs, not what you say you want, but what's truly coming at a vibration that's aligned, that you're aligned with based on the universe. And you'll know what that is because it'll show up in front of you. Now, you can say, I want to manifest money, but if poverty is showing up and continues to show up in front of you, then there's some kind of a subconscious poverty issue that you are dealing with, that you haven't acknowledged, that you haven't cleared out of the way. Because how do you know when it's cleared? You know, because once you do the clearing and you do a ritual to bring in the prosperity, it shows up. Now, you can ask for it to show up in a specific amount of time, or there are other ways. Your spirit will let you know what that is. Or if you want, some people, that's the reason some people go to spiritualists and pay them to do candles, pay them to do manifestation rituals, because the spiritualists know that they have to clear, and then they know the process of manifestation. They've practiced it and built up a competency at manifesting, where people who are just starting, they don't have that energy built up in their aura, so they may not be as effective. But just because you're not as effective doesn't mean you shouldn't start to do your own rituals. I highly recommend that, even if you, in addition to that, have someone do one on your behalf. But if you do have someone do it on your behalf, I think that they should be working with you in terms of a spiritual coach, not like go get 2 frog legs and some oil and put it together and bring it to me. No, like, okay, you want to create prosperity. Where do you stand right now? In your head, in your mind, where are your beliefs? What's showing up in your world in terms of prosperity? What's not showing up? What are the conversations you think that are not serving you, that are limiting your prosperity at this time? Do you think that there are other things, factors that are doing or interfering with your prosperity as well? Could be dark magic, could be a bad habit that you have. Don't know. But those are the kinds of questions I would be working with any client that I work with to help to break through to a new level of manifestation when it comes to prosperity, for example. So, wow, that's a lot. So, let's see. I think I'm going to stop there. Oh, no, I got to do a clarification of the moon. Spirit, please advise, clarify for the collective. What is the moon representing? What is it that is hidden? Clarify the moon. Spring, new beginnings, youth, warmth, renewal, hope, return of life, activity, male, young. Those are significators I pulled on this card. So that is what is behind the moon, new beginnings. And with any new beginning, a cycle ends in order to have a new beginning. So acknowledge and be grateful for the cycle that is ending, and intentionally release that cycle is what Spirit is telling me to have y'all do. Intentionally let go of what no longer works, what no longer serves you, so that you can move fully into your new beginning, free and clear. Free and clear. No, nothing to hold you back. That may mean that if you're in a lot of debt right now and you're trying to manifest prosperity, it may mean you may need to do a bankruptcy to clear the slate in the physical. Spiritually, it may mean that you need to clear some metaphysical or mental limiting conversations, or you may need to clear some curses that someone put on your family that caused this generational poverty, for example. And I'm not saying that you have generational poverty, but I'm saying it's a possibility. There's a lot of stuff that was done with magic that we don't acknowledge, that we don't want to acknowledge, because somehow we're taught that it means that if we acknowledge it, that it's real, and it means something about who the value of we are intrinsically, which is not true. We are intrinsically valuable in and of ourselves. So no matter what we acknowledge is occurring, whether it be personally, generationally, or however, it doesn't matter what happens. It matters how we handle it, how we acknowledge and move forward, how we let go, how we heal. Those are the things that really matter. So know that you have or are about to complete a cycle, and that there will be new beginnings, and it will be filled with activity, with vitality, with hope, and a return of life. It's almost like you're being given a second chance at life. It's almost like the book, it wasn't a chapter, it was a whole freaking book that you shut closed, that Spirit shut closed. And now there's a whole new beginning, a whole new story being written in your name, for you, as your destiny, as your right, because of the things that you endured, because of how you handled what you handled up until this point. You're getting a whole new life, a whole new beginning. Congratulations. Now, wow, that is great. I'm going to pull from the angel cards and then close out this reading. Oh, nope, they're telling me I need to do a crystal grid card pull too. But for the angels, Spirit, please give us information on what it is that we need to know for the collective from the angels. Courage. Be courageous and stand up for your beliefs. Oh, and two more. Career transition. Archangel Chamuel. Your life purpose is triggering a blessed career change. And remember, I do believe that has to do with your voice, because in this reading it said your voice matters. And then, and when I said that, I got lawyer. So some of you may be a lawyer, or you may need to communicate with a lawyer, something, because it's very important and it matters. That's just an offshoot of what I'm hearing. Now, courage is Archangel Ariel. Be courageous and stand up for your beliefs. Because if you don't, nobody else is going to. And so that could lead to stagnation. That could lead to self-sabotage. So challenge yourself where you're not confident. Challenge yourself to go ahead and do it anyway. Speak up anyway. And then the last one is clairvoyancy. Archangel Raziel. I am helping you, your spiritual sight, to awaken fully so you can clearly see heavenly love. That's beautiful. All right, so now let me go. Oh, they're telling me I need to read from the book. Okay, I'm trying to be quick. But, okay, so career transition. Career transition. Bear with me. Let me get my other glasses, which are a little bit better for reading. Okay, so career transitions. Archangel Chamuel. Your life purpose is triggering a blessed career change. You pray for help with your career, and it's now occurring. Sometimes change is perceived as stressful, yet I am helping you to clear the old from your life to make way for the new. Pay close attention to your repetitive ideas, dreams, visions, as these are divinely inspired roadmaps, pointing the way along your desired path. You may not see the entire road, the moon card. You may not see the entire road or where it's leading, but each step will be lit along the way. So you'll know you're on the right path when you're going toward the light, not the dark, is what they're saying. Working with Archangel Chamuel. Chamuel's name means it means he who sees God. His ability to see clearly helps us find things, situations, and people. He is renowned for helping people find their career best suited to their purpose and passion. Call upon Chamuel as your career counselor often. Okay, then the next one I have is courage. But I have clairvoyance in the book first. So I'm going to read the clairvoyance. Archangel Raziel, I am helping you your spiritual sight to awaken fully so you can clearly see my heavenly love. Additional message, your clairvoyance may come in different forms and fleeting mental images in your mind's eye, as dreams, as receiving sights in the physical world, as auras, as energy, or apparition experiences. That means ghost. All of the facets of clairvoyance are beautiful and varied. Enjoy and trust them. Hold the intention of seeing only love, and that is what you will see. Working with Raziel. Raziel's aura holds all the colors of the rainbow like a beautiful prism of light. Working with Raziel, working with clear quartz crystals magnifies clairvoyance and helps you feel closer to Raziel. Now, when you're working with crystals, especially quartz, you can program your quartz, but you should always program all of your crystals that you use in your spiritual work because they're allies, and you need to recognize them as such and put the intention that you need them to be your ally and the request into the crystal that supports them in supporting you. Okay. Now, next and last one is the courage. Archangel Ariel, be courageous and stand up for your beliefs. In this situation, you need to act upon your convictions, even if others disagree. I am protecting you from harm and guiding you to be a loving warrior of light. As you stand up for your beliefs, you're a role model for others. There is an important form of spiritual teaching in which your example gives others courage to also stand up for their own principles. Working with Ariel, Archangel Ariel. Ariel's name means lioness of God. So Leo is coming to mind. And she reflects these qualities, including bravery, courage, focus, and elegant movements. If you notice images of lions or lioness, this is a signal that Ariel is with you. Call upon her to boost your confidence and courage. And just know that none of this comes for free. You have to actually put your focus, your energy, and your intention in summoning these angels, in summoning the allies of the crystal world. It's not something that is given just laying around. It won't be, it is laying around, but it won't be activated. It won't be put to your best use unless you intentionally focus on that and put laser focus on that. So it's important that you know that your focus, your attention is everything. Okay, so I think, Spirit, are we finished? I'm going to do one last pull for Declare and Decree. It's a burning deck by Shavi, who is a reader on YouTube. And if you like the deck, you can contact her. It's called Declare and Decree. Please advise, what is it that this collective needs to focus and burn on? Okay, so these are things that you want to write on a piece of paper and ask your guides, take it to your altar, burn it in a safe way. I find a flower pot that is a clay flower pot is a good receptacle to do this in, or take it outside to a fire pit and burn it. But you want to start with I declare and decree always, because you have sovereign power and your word matters again. All pain and trauma caused towards myself and my ancestors and offspring are now destroyed in spirit and in flesh. And the next one is all blockages of my financial and material resources are now cleared in spirit and in flesh. So this reading had a lot to do with examples about prosperity, and obviously this is telling me and affirming to me that there's a lot of us out there working on our prosperity and bringing it into the 3D. And so you want to definitely do these. So as I said before, you want to start with I declare and decree always, then write this down, and then at the end you want to say, or how I say it is, in body, mind, and spirit, throughout time, space, dimensions, to the eternal now. So be it. And I sign my maiden name, my full name, but the maiden name, not any other name. And I burn it, and I ask my ancestors to take it and clear these negative energies from my space. Thank you, and I give thanks. So with that, I'm going to end this reading. I thank you. I ask you again, please like, subscribe to the channel, and I look forward to seeing you when I see you. Y'all have a good one. Bye.